Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there was a noble and wise king named Arthur. Unfortunately, he was captured by a neighboring king who recognized his intelligence and nobility rather than killing him. The enemy king decided to offer Arthur his freedom, but with one condition: Arthur would have to answer a question that had puzzled even the most knowledgeable individuals. For centuries, if he couldn't provide an answer within a year, he would face certain death. The question was, what does a woman really want? Despite the seemingly impossible task, Arthur accepted the enemy king's proposition, as he believed it was better than facing his own demise. He returned to his kingdom and sought the counsel of his subjects, hoping to find a satisfactory answer. However, no one could provide him with a definitive response. Many people advised him to consult an old witch, known for her wisdom and insight. However, the witch had a reputation for charging exorbitant prices for her services. Reluctantly, Arthur avoided seeking her help for the entire year. But as the last day loomed, he realized he had no other option but to turn to the witch for a possible solution. With a heavy heart, Arthur approached the old witch and explained his dilemma to her. Understanding the weight of his situation, the witch agreed to help him, but at a price. She wanted to marry Gwen, Arthur's closest friend and the most noble knight in the kingdom. Arthur was horrified by the price the witch demanded.
She was known to be ugly,
Hideous, and had a repugnant odor.
He couldn't bear the thought of forcing his dear friend to marry such a creature, so he initially refused the witch's proposal.
However, when Gwen learned of the witch's proposition, he approached Arthur and spoke to him about it. Understanding the gravity of the situation and the sacrifice required, Gwen decided to marry the old witch. Their wedding was proclaimed, and in return, the witch provided Arthur with the answer to his question. The answer was simple yet profound. What a woman truly wants is to be in charge of her own life. This revelation brought clarity to Arthur's understanding of women and their desires. Armed with this newfound knowledge, Arthur returned to the neighboring kingdom and presented the answer to the enemy king. Impressed by Arthur's wisdom and insight, the enemy king granted him his freedom. However, Arthur's heart ached with guilt and sorrow. He had managed to secure his own freedom, but at the cost of his best friend Gwen's happiness. The weight of this sacrifice loomed heavily over him, even in the face of his regained freedom. The next day, as the honeymoon hour approached, Gwen prepared himself for the worst. But to his surprise, when he entered their chamber, he was greeted by the most beautiful woman he had ever laid eyes on. The witch stood before him, presenting him with a choice. She explained that she could either be a beautiful maiden during the day to show off to his friends, but transform into an old witch at night, or be an old and hideous witch during the day, but a stunning beauty at night. It was up to Gwen to decide. Without hesitation, Gwen uttered the most unexpected response. "I would like you to choose that for yourself." In those few words, Gwen displayed his respect and understanding for the witch's autonomy and independence. Overwhelmed by Gwen's compassion and respect, the witch made a life-altering decision. She proclaimed that she would be beautiful at all times because Gwen had respected her enough to allow her to be in charge of her own life. The moral of this tale is clear. Women should be treated with the utmost respect and should be empowered to decide for themselves. Just as Gwen allowed the witch to choose her own fate, we should honor women's autonomy and support them in their quest for independence and self-determination. In a world where gender equality is paramount, let us remember the valuable lesson from the old witch and the noble knight. Treat women with respect, allowing them the freedom to be the ones to decide for themselves.